All right. Morning, guys. Great to see everybody. Obviously, we're excited to play Arkansas this week. Excited to see the players. They've been off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A lot of them been around today. Had a great morning in the weight room. Everybody's ready to go to work. Before we start, I'd like to address the USA Today article that came out. First, I want to say that we need to support and protect victims of violence, sexual abuse of any kind. There is no place in our society, nor on this campus or on our football program, for any behavior of this type. When accusations are made, we have a legal and moral obligation to report every allegation to the university's Title IX office so due process can be implemented. I have in the past and will continue to take appropriate action and comply with reporting protocols. I have confidence today that the university is working to address our policies and processes when allegations arise. That is all I'm going to say at this time. I just wanted to address that before we have any questions. Obviously, I think that Coach Sam Pittman has done a tremendous job with his football team. His coaching staff ought to be commended. They're a completely different football team. They're a darn good football team. They play with great fundamentals. They play with energy, and this is going to be a big challenge for us to go on the road and to beat Arkansas at home.
Hey, Coach Garland Gill and Fox 8 New Orleans. Can you give me any kind of number update on your roster? Are you confident that you're going to have enough guys to play in Fayetteville this weekend?
You know, we feel like we should get most of our quarantine guys back either today or tomorrow. So we feel like the room's going to be full today for the first time. We're actually going to have 2 quarterbacks practice.
Hey, Ed, good afternoon. Can you kind of walk us through how you plan on handling quarterback this week?
Say it again now.
Could you walk us through how you plan on handling the quarterback situation?
Oh, you know, TJ has taken the first team reps. Max hasn't practiced for a week now. We're going to let him get back. And we're going to see who's the best guy available. Right now, it's probably going to be TJ unless Max come on and have a great game, a great week. And but we're probably going to play both of them in the game.
Yeah, you said most of the players will come back today. Are there any others over the course of the week that are taking a little longer, and kind of roughly how many?
You know, as of now, we plan on getting most of our guys back by tomorrow. And I'll bet to report later on during the week. Obviously, this thing is very fluid. It can change every day, but I think by tomorrow we should have most of our guys back.
Hey, Coach, obviously another part of this is once you get these guys back, just kind of seeing where they are conditioning-wise. Yeah. I mean, just what do you think? What are you guys thinking in terms of easing these guys back into practice this week?
Yeah, well, we're going to have to ease them back in. You know, first of all, they've been working out on their own. They were in good shape when they stopped, so they haven't been out that long. Hopefully the workouts kept them up to pace so they can come and practice. I think they're going to be fine. But, you know, we got to limit their reps in the game. You know, we'll see if some guys need extra conditioning, give them extra conditioning, whatever it may be.
Hey, Ed, you talk about, TJ Finley there. You've seen 2 games from him thus far. It's been a while since I've actually played, but what kind of things do you want to see from him in practice moving forward and heading into this Arkansas game?
Boy, we got to take care of the football. Got to take care of the football. We got to make smart decisions, which he did the first game. The second game, he didn't. And we had 3 turnovers. You can't go on the road and turn over the football. But it's not all on him. It's on the play calling. Keep it simple for him. It's on the other players surrounding, playing better. It's about the offensive line protection. It's about everybody.
Coach, before the season, when you said that most of your guys had COVID and you kind of felt pretty good going on to the rest of the season, did that make you or your program kind of lax because you thought the worst was over?
No, not at all. Not at all, man. No. And I'll say last week, most of our guys that weren't able to play was because of quarantine. And it wasn't because of the number of guys that had COVID. And yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you quarantine guys, do you quarantine guys that already had it just to make sure they get it again? You do.
Yeah, that was the protocol.
Right.
That was the protocol. And obviously there's different opinions on that, but I'm not a doctor, and they make the rules.
Have any of your guys had it twice?
I can't speak for that.
Right. Gotcha.
Hey, and obviously, with just kind of where the season's at right now, how do you balance maybe, one to give young guys chances, one to let them have time, but also obviously wanting to win games?
Yeah, it's always about winning the game. And we got a lot of young guys playing, so it kind of works out both. But if I'm not going to take out an older guy just to play a younger guy to give him reps. It's about win the game, give our guys the best chance to win.
Hey, Coach, it's Ed here. Does it kind of tick you off when people insinuate that maybe you don't want to play Alabama and you would be happy that the game wouldn't be rescheduled?
We look forward to rescheduling Alabama. Whenever they tell us to play, we want to play. We wanted to play last week. We weren't able to play because of the safety of our players, and we got to put the safety of our players first. So people are going to say things here and there that's not true. We look forward to playing Alabama. I love the rivalry. I grew up watching that rivalry. They're a great football team, be a great challenge, but whenever they tell us to play, we'll be ready to go.
Are you confident that that's going to happen, Coach?
I don't know that. I hope it does. I'm hearing some rescheduling may be made, but nobody has told us for sure. So this is very fluid. But I do believe that Alabama and LSU ought to play this year, and I do believe that we're going to play somehow, some way.
And if I could ask two Arkansas questions. One, have you noticed a difference with Felipe Franks from?
Yeah. Matt, you got cut out there. Go ahead.
You got me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was asking, I don't know if you heard the question, if you've noticed a difference in Felipe Franks from his time at Florida, his time at Arkansas. And two, I had a chance to talk to Sam Pittman over the summer, and he said he met up with you at a coaches convention, actually thanked you. He's felt your success has given guys who maybe had never been a coordinator an opportunity to be a head coach. So maybe I don't know if you've thought much about it, but have you given any thought to the success that you've had and the opportunity that might open doors for other coaches like Sam Pittman?
I think a lot of Coach Pittman, obviously he's done a great job. And I don't know if I helped or not, but, I was never a coordinator, and he was never a coordinator. He became a head coach, and he's doing a good job. We've had success here. I think that guys don't need to be judged as if they're a coordinator, not what kind of leadership skills they have and their background. And I think all those great coaches I've been with has helped me, and I think it's going to help Coach Pittman. And the key is surround yourself with great players and great coaches. And for the most part, we've done that here. So I think that's the key. Now, Felipe Franks is doing a little bit more RPOs than he did at Florida. His leadership skills are showing on the field. He loves to run the offense. It looks like the guys are playing, and he's using his skill. Traylon Burks, a guy from Warren, Arkansas, who I tried to recruit very hard. We were right in the thick of it. Outstanding player. They got a great running back. They got another great receiver. Their offensive line is playing well because their head coach is an offensive line coach. So I think they've done a tremendous job. Barry Odom does a good job with their defense. He did a great job of game planning. Ole Miss, I think Ole Miss had 6 picks. He dropped 8 on them. So the guy knows what he's doing.
Ed, you may have gone and just answered a lot of this, but what is the biggest difference that you're seeing in Arkansas? I mean, a new coach comes in and mixes things up, but is their recruiting class hitting? Is it time? What is it?
They got players better. Felipe has made a difference, but they got players better. Kendall Browse has done an outstanding job. They go hurry up. They're one of the fastest teams that we've seen on offense. Look at the first drive against Florida. I just watched it on TV. Tremendous job. Tremendous job of calling plays. Tremendous job of beating the deep ball. They're putting their athletes in space, let them make plays. I think Barry Odom, for the most part, has done a tremendous job on defense. You can see his schemes. You can see the fundamentals. I just think I talked to Coach Pittman this morning. You know what? Those guys are having faith in their coaching staff. They're getting loved, and they feel like they can be a good team. Give them credit.
Ed, a slightly different question. Zach von Rosenberg, obviously he's now the oldest player in college football at 30 years old. He says that everyone gives him a kind of a hard time about that around the facility, and you included. When you sort of rib him on it, what kind of things do you say to him?
Oh, when's your Social Security check coming in, stuff like that. I love him. I love Zach. And, Zach's a team leader. Like I said, he played second team quarterback last week, did a tremendous job, beat our defense a little bit, which worries me. But he done a tremendous job for him.
And I know you've heard, just rumblings about whether Alabama will be played again and when it would. Just curious about, like, I don't know, when you look at the rest of the season, it could move games around and all the talk around like what games might be moved and stuff like that. I remember last week y'all said you were preparing for Arkansas and then flip back to Alabama and then get back to Arkansas for a little bit. Whenever you would, how much would it affect if the Alabama game would replace others and then flip one later in the season? How would y'all manage that in game planning? I know y'all have a lot of preparation already, but I'm curious how y'all handle that.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, we're prepared for them. And so whenever they tell us to play, I think that we have a week to prepare. There's going to be an extra week. We spend a lot of time on Alabama this summer. We spend a lot of time on Alabama, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, I can't remember. And so we were prepared to play them. Obviously, we had a game plan in place. So once they tell us to play, I think we're going to be fine, but you have to remain fluid. I hope the remaining of the schedule, we play all 5 games. I want to play Alabama. I want to play Florida. I want to play Ole Miss. I want to play Texas A&M. I want to play Arkansas. We got a team that needs to get better, and everyone's going to present us a challenge, but we're ready for it.
Hey, Coach, I guess just from a standpoint of maybe some of your older players, have you kind of talked to them these last couple of weeks with all the flexibility, everything that's kind of been going on about just kind of riding the ship and just, because a lot of these guys are NFL draft prospects. I'm just kind of curious what the mindset is of some of these older players.
Yeah. Well, they want to win. They want to go out winning. They represent the purple and gold. And they don't like the results on the field either. But you know what? A lot of them got a lot of things to prove on the field to go into the NFL, and they put it on tape. And let's use Terrence Marshall as an example. Guy's having a tremendous season. He wants to talk to the team today. I know he wants to talk to the team about playing one team, one heartbeat. Let's go beat Arkansas one game at a time. A lot of good football left.
Hey, Coach Garland again. I know this season has a lot of struggles, but I know you said a few weeks back that this is a championship program. Y'all will get back to that level.
Yes.
What freshmen are on this team that you feel are going to be the leaders to get this team back to good? Who are those outspoken guys, the Joe Burrows of the world, Patrick Queens? Who are those guys that on this team that are going to be the guys that lead y'all to 2021 and 2022?
You got to look at TJ and Max. Those guys work every day. You come here, Garland, during the summer, they're working there all the time. They're leaders. They lead by example. They're great character young men. Eric Gilbert, look at him at tight end. The things that he can do. Keyshawn Butte, the things that he can do. We haven't even seen Cavontre Bradford play yesterday. I think is going to be an excellent football player. We have 3 good young offensive linemen that I think that are going to be excellent football players. And on defense, you look at Elias Ricks. I don't know where he's at, but at one time he was leading the country. And then we got Jacqueline Roy, you got Jacobin Guillory. Yeah, B.J. Ujulari, Philip Webb, those guys have not even played yet or panned out. Josh White. Those guys got a lot of football in front of them.
Do you notice that they're stepping up vocally also? Because I know some guys just kind of want to focus on their game, but are they any of those guys, locker room guys that are going to stand up and kind of face the noise?
The guy I've seen stand up so far is TJ and Max. Those guys stand up. TJ got his team fired up the first game, and Max was fired up to go. Our players believe in both of those young men.
And I got 2 questions, so I'm going to kind of stay on the line here. I just finished your book, and I couldn't help but think of the similarities between what you wrote about, Troy and Dark Clouds and kind of building, and this year, kind of what Garland just spoke about. Do you see that as the coach of this team?
No question. I know we're going to build a championship team. I know it's coming. But you know what? You have to go through some adversity, man. Iron sharpens iron. You got to develop some grit. You got to develop some toughness. And you just can't go roll your helmet out there. And we got to coach better. And we got to pay attention to the details. That all starts with me. I got to get this program better. But I do know this, that we're building character. We're building something special. And those guys who stay and those guys that come with us, we have a great recruiting class coming that's fixing to get better. We're going to put some great athletes on the field. And I know that we can put them in the best position to make plays and be a great team.
And my other question was more immediate about the offensive line. Clearly, that has been, I think, the biggest problem right now. Have you been able to make any strides with what you have on the roster, or is that more of a long-term project?
Yeah, we're looking at maybe Dare Rosenthal being reinstated. I don't know yet. That's not definite yet. I think that would help us. I should know something more today or tomorrow. If he can be reinstated to the team, I think that would help us.
Coach, do you feel like a lot of the things addressed in the USA Today article happened or were culturally set in before you even got here as an assistant?
I'm not going to comment on that, Glenn. I'm just going to let it go what I said.
Okay. Okay.
But hey, I want to let you know your question is important. It is important.
And are there some things that Alabama and Arkansas both do that by practicing for both, it doesn't matter?
Run the stretch, run the counter, the RPOs, play action pass, go deep. There's some things that are similar. Yeah. And Arkansas does play a 4-3 defense. Alabama plays some 4-3, some nickel, some 3-4. So very similar.
Hey, Coach, Shea Dixon here. Y'all have been, you're down a couple games, but you've still been really good at turnover margin. You always talk about that. Arkansas is about as good as anyone in the country right now at +8. How much is that on your mind even more as you watch film and prep for this game?
The first thing I told the staff today, we're going on the road. We have to win the turnover battle. Let's do a great job this week of making sure we're taking care of the ball. When we went to Auburn, we didn't win the turnover battle. And we got to win the line of scrimmage. You got to be physical. Arkansas is a physical football team, but it starts with the turnover battle. So this week, there's going to be a big emphasis on securing the ball and taking it away. They're +8. We're +4.
Hey, Coach, good morning. Coach, I guess it's going to be 3 weeks since you played a game, right? By the time you finally get out there this weekend, you've been sitting on that Auburn game for a while, and I know that's probably not the kind of game you want to be sitting on. How anxious are you to get back out there? And what about tackling? When you haven't tackled live in a game so long this week?
Yeah, that's always a concern, but we practice tackling every day. We didn't scrimmage our guys at all because, frankly, we didn't have enough to scrimmage last week. I mean, we were thin. We didn't have 2 units. So I wasn't going to go out there and tackle and scrimmage and get anybody else hurt. So that's the reason. Now, maybe if we'd have had a full squad, but if we'd had a full squad, we'd have been playing. So I think that we're going to have to practice tackling this week, do a good job of, we're not going to take people to the ground, but do a good job of teaching it and getting in position to make some plays.
Ed, TJ's first game was so impressive, records for a freshman. And then his second game, he struggled. Is that a direct result of the opponent, or is that something maybe that you guys saw that is correctable, going into a game? Is it play calling? We talked about, maybe giving him more of an offense to work with. Maybe did you give him too much, that kind of thing?
I think that the first game was perfect. I mean, the guy was on fire. Steve was calling a great game. We were protecting him. The second game, it all switched up on. We were playing away. It didn't start off well. I think we dropped the first pass. The second one was low or behind them or something like that. And I think we got behind the 8 ball. They had too much pressure on them. Obviously, on that, on the rush, we didn't block very well in that game. Games before we had. I think there's a combination of both.
And one thing I don't really think we asked much about, 2 weeks ago, but, Micah Baskerville got a lot more time over Damone Clark against Auburn. I guess what's kind of the status of that linebacker competition?
Yeah, I think that's ongoing. Mike did a good job. He's starting right now, but that doesn't mean that Damone couldn't. I think those guys rotate in, but right now Mike's the starter.
Hey, Coach.
All right, thank you.